Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Van Lathan.
What's up, G?
What's up, King?
I'm good, my man.
Oh, man. I see you got the Texas hat, you know.
Oh, I'm doing my
well,
thing.
Not necessarily Texas, but, you know, the cowboy hats are worldwide.
Well, cowboy hats worldwide. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge, yeah.
I show a little deference and respect to my lineage there as the black cowboys from Maryland, Louisiana, where my daddy from.
Right.
Yeah.
Baton Rouge, man. How did you get from Baton Rouge to TMZ?
On purpose.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was working in Baton Rouge on different projects that would come through Louisiana because Louisiana has a tax credit. So a lot of stuff is shot in Louisiana. A lot of big movies shot in Louisiana. Sometimes you can't tell, you describe them or they disguise them a little bit. And there was a movie that came through in 2005 called The Reaping. It was with Idris Elba, big Hollywood movie. They took the Walmart on Plank Road and they made it into a soundstage. And I was the stage manager of the Walmart on Plank Road as the soundstage. That was the same year that Hurricane Katrina came through. So I was able to save up some money. The production went long because we were down. I was able to save up some money, and then I moved out to L.A. After the hurricane came through, to me, that was like a sign that anything that I wanted, I had to go get it real quick and not wait on things. And so I came out to L.A.
Hurricane Katrina?
Hurricane Katrina, 2005.
Yeah. Man, Baton Rouge is one of those type of cities. Baton Rouge remind me of like the relationship that New Jersey have with New York. Baton Rouge relationship with New Orleans. It's like, yeah, y'all talking about New Orleans, man. Like we got our own thing out here too. We doing our own thing. Y'all real serious. People that's from Baton Rouge, man, y'all pride on y'all chest, man, for real.
Yeah. New Orleans is the heart of the state, but Baton Rouge is the brain. So Baton Rouge is the place where the political decisions for the rest of the state are made. It's a place where you get right to it. Like, no, we have all of the culture of South Louisiana, but we don't have any tourists besides people that are coming for Southern games or LSU games. So whatever we doing, we got to do it because we want to do it. We're not putting a smile on our face to make somebody come to our town and stay there for an extra couple of days. We're not trying to sell you our culture. By the way, this is not a diss to New Orleans. New Orleans is one of the most unique, amazing places in the entire world. But I'm just saying, for us, everything that's happening there, we don't got no commercial. There's no commercial saying come to Baton Rouge. If you're there for a purpose. So whatever happens, we get right to it.
Yeah. Do you know Isaiah Carey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to the same high school. He was there before me, but we went to the same high. That's a McKinley guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Shouts out to Isaiah, man.
Oh, right now, let me tell you something. This, to me, right now, is the golden age of Baton Rouge alumni. When you look at people from all over the place. When you look at Gates, Young Boy, in hip-hop, of course, Boosie and Webby, the guys that got it started, Fox, all of those dudes. Box, Royale, all of those guys from back in the day, Max Minnelli, I wish I could name them all right here. And then when you look at the media, you got myself, you got Isaiah, you know what I mean? When you just, Ted James, somebody who went to high school with me, it's a great person to have on the podcast, who's now running for mayor of Baton Rouge. You got Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark. Now, Ryan Clark is not from Baton Rouge, but he lives in and around there now. Marcus Spears is a homeboy that's from right there. Right? The guy, you see these guys on ESPN, Michael Clayton doing this thing at Tampa Bay. You see all of that stuff. So this is the golden age of people from our city being able to, speak in media and different places like that and have our influence out there.
How'd you get that job on that soundstage?
So there was a show that came to Louisiana, that came to Southern University where I was going to college at the time. It's called College Hill. It's on BET.
Right.
First Black, and I got a PA job on that. So my man Tommy Talley hooked me up with a PA job on that, and that was my first job in TV. So once you get your foot in, then you have the one thing, and this is the most fucked up thing about this industry or any industry, is experience is the one thing that they want more than anything, and it's the thing that's the hardest to get. And so I had to end because my friend was already working on the show. I had the experience of, giving input and working on a production, and then it was easy for me to get the next production and the next production because I was in. Once I got the job on that movie, I'm like, this is my last one doing it here, and I moved out to L.A.
Yeah. That's interesting that you said that about experience because my goddaughter, who is Sierra Rogers, you know who that is?
Yeah.
So
It's a friend of mine.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sierra, well, you probably know the story. Sierra, when she first went to L.A., she was going around looking for marketing jobs and stuff, and she couldn't get any work. Nobody would hire her. She went on job interview after interview after interview after interview after interview, and she couldn't get hired. So finally, she just started selling the clothes literally off her back.
Right.
And that's how she built her empire. But they wanted her to have experience. She was very qualified. She's always had a knack for style. Always had that knack. But they would not hire her. But, you know, they're lost because look at her now. If she had went and taken that job for them, she might be on that little wheel, you know, that a lot of people find themselves on, and you know, with the golden cuffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at her and her sister, they have Chris. They have an entrepreneurial spirit. So
tell me about it.
When somebody's like that, it's just a matter of time. It's better for people like that to actually, and it doesn't seem like this, but it's better for people like that to actually have doors shut on them because their innate sense is to go get it.
Resilience.
Yeah. And so people like that get to working in a job 5-10 years before they go, this is not for me. So it's almost better for them to do it themselves because at the end of the day, they're not going to be comfortable doing it for somebody else.
Right. Yeah, shouts out to Sierra and Chrissy, man.
Yeah.
I'm talking about real life, female, feminine hustlers. You dig what I'm saying? Is that,
Yeah.
Can we phrase that? Can we coin that phrase?
Feminine hustlers, yeah.
Yeah. Man, talk about your journey from TMZ to starting your own platform, which is highly successful. Congratulations on it.
Appreciate you. Well, TMZ was of a tremendous importance as far as me learning how to be a figure in the media, learning how to source a story, learning how to understand even bias in media, understanding that the person that is at the top of a place shapes that place to their sensibility. It's like coaching a college football team. The team takes on the personality of the coach. So if the coach is undisciplined, not doing the right thing, the team gonna get a whole bunch of penalties. They're gonna go out there helter-skelter or whatever. But if you're playing for Nick Saban, a guy who has structure and process, then you're gonna see a structure and process team. People think that the media or media operations or entities are different than that. They're not. Whoever's at the top of these places, whoever runs these places, they then have their personality. Everyone in that little place becomes a little different version of them. And so the sensitivities and the biases and the worldview of those entities become a reflection of the brass at the top of them. And so when I learned that, it made me a lot less precious about what I see in the media, right? Because you have people in media positions that aren't culturally literate. So they don't know. And you might think that they know and they're fucking with you, but they really don't know. Whitney Houston dies. I remember at TMZ, and we're covering the story. And one of the guys in the office goes, "Van, have you ever heard of a homegoing?" And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, she's having a special kind of funeral. She's not having a regular funeral. She's having something called a homegoing, which I'm hearing is a big deal in the black community. Have you heard of a homegoing before? I'm like, whoa, you fucking with me? She's going home. She's going home to Jesus. She's going home to God. Like homegoing, sunrise, sunset. It's like this is a funeral in the black church way of having a funeral, but the term homegoing is simply a term used because you're going home to Jesus. You're going home to glory. Whatever.
Sending her back to where she came from.
Exactly. She's going home.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. It's not something that needs an intellectual dissertation. And when the story was written, and it was like, people felt the way. People were like, but they don't know.
So is it fair to say that TMZ contributes to the toxicity in our culture?
Sure.
Yeah.
But
or is it that just what people want to see?
Yeah, they definitely do. But what I would say is not especially, right? So, without a doubt. But they not, at least when I was there wasn't an edict to be like, let's fuck over these people. It was kind of an understanding that we don't care if we fuck over these people because we don't really care if we fuck over anyone except for the culture that's represented by the people at the top of TMZ. Right? So sometimes it's not about who you're trying to destroy, because what we think sometimes is that if somebody's sitting behind a table and they're making a bunch of decisions, and those decisions are like, let's fuck over black people, let's fuck over gay people, let's fuck over women, let's fuck over the people. What if that's not it? What if you just don't care about how they feel? Not that you're trying to fuck them over, but you just don't care about how they feel.
Or you're indifferent.
You're indifferent, right? Those people, though, because of situations that exist in society, they might need you to care about how they feel, because dangerous narratives that target them might have been A, more successful in the past, and then B, also more dangerous in the past. So how do we have the conversation about vulnerable and at-risk portions of the American population with groups that go, hey, we give it to everybody the same? Well, it's not this. It doesn't feel the same when you're talking about certain groups, because certain groups, the narratives about them are used to then kill them, right? So anytime you're in any place where black people and black culture are not represented at the very tops of that place, you should be having conversations about how black people are portrayed. I remember I had a conversation with a brother from the Nation, and it was something that had happened with the Nation, and I wanted to cover it on TMZ. I wanted to cover it on there. And I was talking with him, and he said to me, I was like, okay, we'll put this on and we'll cover this. And it was a story about them or for them or whatever that was involving them. And he goes, well, just to let you know something. You don't have control of how this gets put out there. We know that. However, just to let you know, if this goes up and it goes sideways, we will blame you. I never forgot about that. Because we will have to blame you. It will be your responsibility to shepherd this and have this reflected in a way that's truthful and powerful and not derogatory to us. And I was like, I can't guarantee how the story is going to go because I don't have final editorial voice on anything there. So it's better that, we don't do it. And he respected that. So the responsibility of, if you care, of a person culturally when you're at any entity is to make sure that to the degree that you can be an influence on the people that are writing stories or portraying your culture, to make sure that they're not taking unfair shots or being pernicious in the way that they reflect and show your people. And it's hard. You'll lose jobs doing that.
So how does your background in the media and your perspective that you have with the media translate into your own platform that you have now?
Now two things. Number one, I have to be 100% true to myself, whether or not the audience agrees or doesn't agree, right? 100% true to myself, because I realize that people have been conditioned in both ways. Like right now, people are conditioned to not have conversations that are difficult to have. They don't want it. Anytime it's like, oh my God, you're putting us at risk, you're doing all of this. Sometimes you just got to talk to the devil. You just have to sometimes, right? You have to. But more than anything with me, you just can't fucking care. You can't care about your perspective. You have to give your perspective based upon your research, your life experience, and what it is that you've encountered. And so for me, I've had a very unique path to get to where I am. So the things that I don't believe them willy-nilly. I don't believe something because I saw a meme. I don't believe something because I heard it. I read a book and I lived it. And that's why I believe it.